This is an interesting piece I found, or I linked to the other day from Bonacci called The Coming One. I watched it again. It's absolutely brilliant. So I'm going to link to it again and call this Santos Bonacci The Coming One. But I want to address something in here. I was thinking about it yesterday after I watched it while sitting in the sun, soaking in the hot pools, luckily enough, waiting for the vehicle to get fixed. And I'm very privileged little spot there in the middle of winter. Everyone should try to get that done. Go and sit in the hot pools for a couple of hours. And Bonacci explains that people attack him for not acknowledging the divinity of Christ.
Theology. This is mythology.
So he's saying that that theology is purely mythology.
Now I get a lot of people that attack me because I only have a mythological, astrotheological and allegorical perspective of the scriptures and no historical Jesus. Now I'm aware of many great writers that, like Yogananda, Paramhansa, that...
Now he goes on to say that he doesn't deny that there was a Jesus Christ, and that the zodiacal system that we live in does produce a Messiah, and it's predicted to happen, or it does happen every 600 years, another reference to 6. And the Pharaonic bloodline that live among us, they know that. And they are watching and they are waiting, and they, well, this time have used the internet. Perhaps last time they used the internet, I don't know, I don't think I was there, to pinpoint possible candidates. Then they launched this gang stalking program upon possible candidates. I've linked and mentioned some of that earlier. And they watch. Now, I've mentioned the undead, the Pharaonic bloodline. There may be some debate as to whether they do die and then reincarnate as the same entity. And Bonacci's mentioned that before, mentioned one of the queens. Queen Elizabeth is certainly the reincarnation of blah, blah, blah. Or they shapeshift or whatever. I mentioned some examples. Another one is John Lennon and Steve Jobs. Go look at those two. Alan DeGenerate, and go look at just search Alan DeGenerate looks like and go to images. You'll find her doppelganger. So I think that they shapeshift, that they don't die. And these people live among us, and they use trust funds to hand their wealth down to their spoilt little demonic children and things. And they are the gang that rule over us, and they are expecting and looking for the Messiah. Bonacci explains this. Go and watch this video. If a Messiah is served up in each age. This is the age of Aquarius. It's ruled by It's ruled by Uranus for the first 1,000 years, and then Saturn. Saturn's playing a big part now, but it's actually ruled by Uranus for 1,000 years, to quote Bonacci. So the Messiah should be, in theory, someone whose ruling planet is Uranus. I'm actually Jupiterian, but Jupiter obviously plays a part in it, and obviously Saturn plays a part, his role in it. The experts will tell you that it does all work together as one in effect. But Bonacci says he gets attacked by these very staunch Christians who are basically saying, having him on about not acknowledging the divinity of Jesus Christ. So Bonacci is saying that Jesus Christ was just a man that encapsulated the age, and was then taken up, if you like, or ascended. Now, that's the big debate. Now, I'm going to put a photo of that. What's that painting with? Is it Adam touching God? Sorry, I haven't checked that before I've done this. I'll put that on the cover of this, and that is suggestive. It's a great piece of art, classic artwork. It's suggestive. I can answer this question for you, Bonacci. Santos, I've loved your work, but I'll answer this question for you. There is a connection, and you have previously said another quote that I really like. The brain is actually outside the body. They know nothing about the human brain because it's outside the body. It is connected to, the body is the Holy Land, the Temple of Solomon, and the brain is connected, is wired basically to the zodiac. That's how it works. So your star chart is a chart of how your brain is wired, or your body is wired to the zodiac, but it all comes through your brain, those nerves in your brain. So those transitions of light in the sky are affecting your brain. That is the image that I will put on the front of this, which is, I think it's Adam reaching out to God and just touching his finger. It's that electric spark. That's how it works. And so this debate about whether there is a divinity, well, yes, there is a divinity. And so he's just saying that Jesus is just a man is probably not completely correct. He is just a man, but the divinity works through him. That would be more correct to say. And the next Messiah and the previous Messiah and the Venetian Messiah, which was Muhammad, all of these and then a whole host of other people who, and every one of us that have sparks of divinity and moments of divinity, often called creativity. That's how it works. So yes, there is a divinity. So, you might argue that they're both right, Bonacci and his detractors, and Bonacci's correct to say there's no point in killing each other over it. But that's how it works. And you'll see this in things like being able to trigger storms, the weather, having an influence on the weather. You'll always take the weather with you. There's no question in my mind. I presume that's the story of Jesus when the earth was shaken, when he said, "Father, have you forsaken me?" So yes, there is a connection. I'll put that as the image. And I might mention one other thing. The gang stalking program, which I've covered, is designed to build up a database of false evidence to use against anyone that ascends or causes too much trouble. Fake evidence, fake witnesses, fake allegations, fake stories, and that can go right back through your family. You'll often find, I think there's a bit of baby swapping that goes on at the hospitals, and you'll often find that even your family will come out as false witnesses with false stories and false, I've seen enough of that evidence as well. Old school, it's being told you've got old school reports where you were just an absolute terror, when actually you were just a 98% student all the time. Things like that, being told that you were a drug dealer in your younger days by a brother who seemed to have turned the story around, where he was selling pot, and you helped him collect it one day, and suddenly you were selling drugs. A story like that, and you just shake your head and go, these people are actually working against me. So everybody, the whole world, or even your family can come out and be against you. This is part of the gang stalking program. I'll link to Servants Research Ministries, who covers that